Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Taurus is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, it doesn't cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a moon card. This feels like the new moon. It feels like there is a situation into which you can't quite penetrate. There's something that is difficult for you to discern. I don't know if it's a situation, if it's a past situation that we're now trying to kind of analyze, or we're trying to do a little bit of introspection about it, right? Let's put it into some context. Let's see what's going on or who might be involved here. Now we've got a Prince of Pentacles. It could be someone in your life or someone that was in your life, but I feel that they're a contemporary male energy. So someone about your age, right? And they're the builder, right? So I wonder if this was somebody maybe that you thought you were building a relationship with or building a life with. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what other cards come out here before we get too in-depth. See, now we've got a different side of them. Now we've got the Prince of Cups. We've got the Knight of Cups, a Queen of Wands. See, now there's a lot of court cards here, and a Four of Wands. Four of Wands is about closure. It's about the ending of a cycle, right? I feel like this might have been somebody that you really kind of gave your heart to because of that Knight of Cups, that maybe you thought you were building a life with them, or maybe really it kind of felt as if the two of you were very different, but that you kind of wanted the same things. But then with the Prince of Cups under here, it feels like there's a different side of them, or that you were looking for something deeper with them. You were kind of waiting for them to really show their kind of emotions to you, right? With the water compatibility, but they remained a little bit closed off, right? The earth energy there. They were very practical. It's like the relationship would have had a very successful run. I think that the two of you work well together, but there's this disconnect emotionally. Yeah. We've got an ace, we've got a 10, we've got a 2, we've got a 5. Yeah. I think it ended with a little bit of disappointment there. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is the factor infinite and unknown. We will take this one. We'll put it right here. We'll put Mr. Ed right on top. How about that? And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. And if at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments, right? Let's try to generate a collective intuition here. If we work together, we build the energy, we can raise our consciousness and we can raise our vibrations, and we can start intuiting this together, okay? Let's look around the room. The only major arcana card we have is this Moon card. I feel like, I wonder if this is really the Moon card. I wonder if this is more about their regret than yours, okay? I wonder if this was a situation, perhaps, that you were a little bit closed off with them, okay? Maybe we're looking at things a little bit backwards here. Maybe they're trying to figure out what went wrong with this relationship. Perhaps it's very clear to you, right? We've got you as this Queen of Wands up here, which interestingly is the reversal of this card. It's the inside out, right? This is fire of water. This is water of fire, right? It's the exact inverse, right? It's inside out, these two. And so I kind of feel as if this was you going from really opening yourself up, being very very honest, very transparent, wearing your heart on your sleeve, being very, very giving, very straightforward with how you felt. Okay? But because they had this blockage, because they weren't able to get their true feelings out on the table, they weren't able to express how they felt, I feel like you really kind of went inside out, You turned into this kind of, like a boss here, This Queen of Wands that's just saying, okay, you had your chance and that's it. I feel like maybe this person is not able to let things go because we have the Four of Wands in this future position. I feel like they still kind of are trying to figure out what they did wrong or what went wrong. And I feel like they've been thinking about you a lot, right? Or not really, not thinking, that's the wrong function, because you look here, we don't have any air cards at all. Right? Well, let's see what we have. Our major arcana. So there is confusion here. There was uncertainty, or there still is uncertainty on either your part or their part, or everywhere. There's just this kind of, we're not able to really see the future. So there's something that's preventing, I think, this Four of Wands, that closure. And then we've got fire, 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 fire. We got a lot of fire energy. And I think the fire is really you not answering their phone calls, refusing to talk to them, saying, no, you had your chance, that's it, sorry. Maybe, I don't know if they broke up with you or you kind of just stopped contacting them, but whatever it is, I feel like you're not open to them communicating with you, right? There's no swords here. So there's not a lot of communication, there's not a lot of thought, but I do see that the kind of introspection taking place. I see that there's something that we haven't figured out yet, something that they really maybe aren't aware of either. And I think it really comes down to this Prince of Cups underneath everything, the inability to really be honest with how we feel, to show emotion, right? This is the builder. This is somebody, now they probably had a good job, they probably had everything going for them. On paper, everything seemed great, but they just were not able to express their emotions, okay? And I think that this is one reason why this person's never really going to let this go. They're never going to reach any kind of closure here because they can't recognize how closed off they are. This is water that's all dammed up, all stopped up by the earth energy, right? And I think this is one reason why they will never have closure, and you'll kind of be the one that got away from them, and they can't figure out why, right? I think it seems obvious to you. And so you don't want to have the conversation because you're like, well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you, right? So we've got our water energy here, here, and here. We don't have any air, like I said. We do have some earth here and here. Now the Ten of Pentacles in the environment position. I feel like this person doesn't want to let this go because they see the practical potential. They see the richness, the wealth. Like the two of you could really could have built something amazing together, Maybe the communication was there in other ways. Maybe there was a lot of potential in terms of a partnership or building a business, or you worked very well together domestically, or in terms of, I don't know if maybe you worked together in a career or something too, but I feel like this person, whoever they are, getting a K name, perhaps. I'm getting a K sound, Kevin or Carl or something like that. I don't think the name's really all that important. But I feel like they're kind of looking at this situation, or they're thinking about you, or they're having these feelings, right? And they're just, for the life of them, they can't figure out what went wrong. Yeah, because they see in the environment, they say everything was perfect. We got along well. We liked the same things. We vibed, as far as our habits go and our personalities go. So I think there was this perception that the future could have been really, really amazing, but there was something lacking. And what I think was lacking was this being very closed off. And it seems like they were just kind of, when it comes to expressing emotions, or showing emotions, I feel like that person was very closed off. Okay, whereas you came into this situation giving your heart, ready to receive love and affection, and you were very generous with how you expressed your feelings, right? Now I think you kind of flipped it around, whereas before, with the Knight of Cups, this is very loving, very affectionate, very thoughtful, very expressive, I think maybe you would shower them with gifts, and there was just this really, really big effort on your part, Now, flip this around. All that water goes inside, and now this fiery exterior says, sorry. So now I feel like you're kind of being closed off and harsh with this person for good reason, okay? You've withdrawn that water energy. You have put your heart back inside, and you're saying, sorry, you missed the boat. You missed your chance, And it's an odd thing because they can't figure out why. Because to them, like I said, 10 of Pentacles, everything was perfect. Yeah, everything was perfect. But the closure, the four of Wands here. Now, there's some connection with a school. I don't know did you meet this person at a school, or do they work at a school? You work at a school. Something there's like education involved here in some way, right? But with the Four of Wands that we see in the future position, this is the closure that I think is difficult to be had right now. And I think that they're having a difficult time because they're kind of here in the what ifs. They're living in this moon realm of what could have been, right? And I think that their imagination is really running wild, and they're wondering what it was that they did wrong, or what it was that that they could have done differently to make this situation work. Now, I'm almost wondering if they kind of broke up with you, if it was an impulsive thing on their part, right? And now, in retrospect, they're here inside this, their kind of fantasy and their imagination, and they're thinking, why did we have to end that? Because it was really going in a perfect direction. We could have built a life that was, successful and all this thing, but this person is too focused on the earth energy, right? They're not in touch with this, and maybe that's a really glaringly obvious difference. You're very spiritual, they're not, right? And so maybe the things that they were building and they thought they could build with you aren't as important to you, right? Your foundation is an emotional connection, is a subtle, intuitive sensitivity, a love, a compassion. Maybe this person, in some ways, was just too business, not enough, art, right? Maybe. And so they had a different view of perfection than you do. 10 of Pentacles, right? Our idea of what is perfect, our idea of the long-term goals, the best life, the picture of your best life, your idea of perfection. I think you had a different version of this. Maybe yours is a 10 of Cups, right? This water energy. And theirs, perhaps, is this 10 of Pentacles, where they're more about the amount of things, where you're more about the quality of things. The meaning, the significance of things. Maybe they just want things. Maybe they think, well, look, we both have these good jobs, and together, like, we have all this money, and we can get the house we want, and we can build this life up. And you want that stuff too. But you want it all to have a deeper meaning, more significance. And I think they don't recognize that. Okay? So I think that they weren't very appreciative of your depth. Yeah. I don't think they were very appreciative of how sensitive you actually are. Okay? Now, I want to point out, too, that I wasn't going to bring this up, because this adds a weird kind of dimension. This Prince of Pentacles, okay, is one of your superpower cards. So I think, in a very obvious way, maybe this should represent you. Okay? And so that adds this dimension of was this person just too similar to you in other ways? Okay. Was there not enough going on in that dynamic that would keep you like awake and interested? Kind of like dating ourselves, and that leads us over to the path of the serpent here. Now, I don't fully subscribe to the idea that anytime this kind of card comes out, well, it has to be talking about you, because maybe you're the one that's closed off. Maybe you're the one that is stubborn and isn't showing feelings and is too materialistic. Well, yeah, come on. I mean, that's a little obvious, I think, for a Taurus stereotype. Okay? So I didn't read it that way. Okay? But I feel like we have to address it a little bit, because maybe we're projecting a little bit, tiny bit. Okay. Maybe there are other things going on with us, and we're seeing that person. We're thinking, well, they're too closed off emotionally. They're not being honest with how they feel. They don't have any depth. They don't really care about anything except for the material stuff that they're building in their job and all this kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit of that is projection. Just saying. I also feel as if with the Ace of Wands over here, there's not enough of that spark. There wasn't enough of that passion. Yeah, on paper, it seemed good. Yeah, we could build, we could pay the bills, we could save money. It would be really, really nice. But I feel like there's lacking that. It's like you don't get butterflies in the room with them. Okay? You don't get the butterflies that you were, and I think you gave it some time. You gave it a chance, But I feel like there wasn't that, it didn't really spark anything in us. It didn't give us like that spiritual experience. It didn't make us want to, it didn't make us want to do better or be better or try new things. It didn't give us that kind of fire. In a very simple way, it was missing the spark. Right? Missing the spark. And I don't think that they are aware of that. And I think that's part of the problem here, is that they were just like, what do you mean? Everything's perfect. Because they're not focused on that spark of their own, it seems like, right? And I got to say too that I don't read third parties. They're not a part of this reading. I don't think they're a Taurus person. Well, maybe they are. But I try not to read the energy of anybody else, right? Any kind of third party in this in our session here. So I don't know exactly what they're thinking and feeling. I think what we're doing here is I'm looking through your eyes. I'm looking at things through the lens of you. Okay? And so to you, it feels as if this person has a different idea of perfection than you do. That they're missing that spark. They're missing that passion, that creativity, that depth of emotion, the ability to communicate. If it's there, they're not talking about it. Okay? So I wonder now with the Four of Wands, I wonder if we're thinking about this quite a bit, and if we're looking for some closure. But maybe you're perceiving this, from their point of view, because they are maybe still calling you, maybe they're still texting, maybe you feel as if they are still connected to you in some way. Okay. So we talked about the Ten of Pentacles, and that's the ideal of perfection, the very best life. Okay. And I believe that there were differences in what this best life would look like. And maybe it's something as simple as you're more city, they're more country, or vice versa. Maybe they're more city, you're more country. You wanted to live in the desert, they wanted to live by the ocean, maybe the opposite way around, right? But I just kind of, the Two of Wands there, it's in the position of the difficulty. The difficult is for us to be on the same page. Now, I think as far as they're concerned, they thought they're going through life like everything's perfect, like the two of you are on the same page. But I think in this way, the two of you are very similar in that you both have a version of life that you want, and it's not really so compatible. And I don't know what those reasons are. Maybe it's something material, and then there's the depth and the meaning behind the success. And you just have different goals. It's like you feel different things. You believe in different things. So there's kind of a battle of will. And maybe the two of you are both very strong personalities. Okay? So it might have been a struggle about, well, who's going to be the boss? Who's going to make the decisions? What do we want to have for dinner? You know? Someone has to kind of acquiesce and say, yeah, okay, that sounds good. But I don't think that's the way for you. I think that the two of you you would want one thing, they would want the other thing, and it was just this clashing, right? But I don't think it was over things like dinner and that sort of thing. I think it was over deeper issues. You know, issues that you care about, things that have meaning and significance, emotional issues, you know, social issues, spiritual issues. And they maybe were a little bit too easygoing about it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the obstacle here, maybe why this is the card that's right here, the Two of Wands, is because they wouldn't really stand up for an opinion. That it felt like they didn't have any passion or any feeling. They didn't care about anything enough to fight you on it, you know, to challenge you, to say, no, I don't agree with you, and here's why. You know, that kind of stimulation, right? And so we end this with a Five of Cups, and it feels to me like this person is having a difficult time understanding what happened, or having a difficult time letting you go, because maybe they're slowly starting to realize some of these things, and maybe they are, you know, because look, these are both princes. Maybe they're starting to work on this. They're starting to realize that they're having a bit of an awakening of their own. But the Queen of Wands up here says, well, it's too little too late. Right? The ship has sailed. The Five of Cups, the water has moved on. And so even if they are doing that depth work, and they're realizing that they've been a little closed off, and they're starting to care about things and find the spark in life, and they're starting to push this wheel along, the wheel of their own spiritual and energetic cycles, you know, they're starting to really get involved in the work. That's good, that's great, but for you, I think you don't feel that way about them anymore. You know, I mean, maybe as friends, I'm glad you're doing well, but that love energy seems to have sailed. That Five of Cups at the end, it's I don't think that you would feel the same way about them, even if they have changed or evolved in some way. I think that kind of energy is gone. Okay. And so I think that it's important for you to maintain this Four of Wands and keep that cycle closed. You know, don't try to turn the wheel backwards and go back into this situation, even if they contact you and say, hey, I'm changed, I'm different, come see. And it may be true, it may not be true, but I don't think that it serves you to go back, you know. I don't think it serves you to go back. What I want to do is, let's do one Metatron Oracle card. Let's see what this, I don't know too much about the Metatron Oracle cards. I just got these. I'm trying to kind of break them in, activate them, connect with them in my own ways. So I try to bring them out at least once per reading in this energetic cycle of readings. If you use these cards, let me know what you think of them and how they've been working for you. Oh, that's the one. Gold cup. The cup of replenishment. Cup of replenishment. Well, this is interesting, because this might really be contradicting me, you know. This might be saying, well, look, maybe if enough time goes by, see, the Four of Wands is terrestrial time, Okay? This is kind of a natural just time. This is like counting by months, years, whatever go by. Maybe given enough time, this person will have made significant changes. And maybe this is kind of the replenishment of that love energy. Now, maybe this is going to be a relationship that can happen, but maybe not in the romantic way. Maybe this is saying, well, this is, yeah, they've made a lot of progress. We can be, great friends. We can be great business partners, or we can maybe explore the romantic stuff again. But I think that the Ace of Cups here is about having the closure, letting time go by. If it's meant to be, it will happen, And I think that it's kind of it's trying to counteract this Queen of Wands, because I see the Queen of Wands up here, and I just think that it's adamant. We're just nope. I'm not gonna meet you. I'm not gonna answer the phone. I'm not gonna talk about it. There's no communication here, right? No swords cards. Maybe that's for the best, right? Maybe we need time to go by, one, so you can have closure, so you can kind of recover from this disappointment, so you can replenish your cup, right, your heart. But I think there's also now the openness and potential for this to be something, even if just a friendship, or maybe eventually that phone call for that closure. That just kind of, this makes us feel good that we didn't end really on bad terms. I kind of think there was a little bit of again, because there's that very boss Queen of Wands that's just like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to answer the phone. Maybe at some point you will answer the phone. You'll have that brief conversation. You'll have closure, and it'll feel good. You're like, yeah, there's no hard feelings. They're doing well. I'm doing well. There just was, an incompatibility with our paths in life. And maybe more can come of it, but maybe not. But you're fully replenished from this experience, right? I think this is good. I think it leaves it a little bit kind of open to fate. We're not making any hard and fast say, nope, I'm never going to talk to that person again. And if I hear their name, I'm going to get angry. No, there's peace. There's no hard feelings there. There's a peacefulness about it. Let's look at the mystery card now. And obviously we're thinking swords, right? And so that's all I'm feeling now is the swords. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's just take a look here. Tower. Maybe this ended more abruptly than I thought. Maybe there was, and we kind of see with the Ace, the Two, and the Queen of Wands that maybe this ended with a little bit of a ruckus. Maybe there was this kind of this big fight, and it's just where this fight and it was really, I think, you were blowing off a lot of steam, right? Maybe you got all the swords cards out, and now there's kind of we've exhausted the air energy, right? So I think maybe you just let loose, told them exactly what you feel, what you think about the situation, and then you left, and you didn't answer the phone, you didn't return the phone calls, you didn't answer the text messages. So I think it's really kind of a matter of us calming down from that experience and letting all the dust settle. Yeah. And then maybe seeing what's in our heart. Doing the introspective work for ourselves now with this cup of replenishment. To see how we feel. Did I overreact? Am I projecting? Am I kind of, do I have other things going on that I kind of took it out in this situation? And, because I feel like everything culminated in kind of a big moment, a big argument, big fight, and you left. Didn't talk to him again since. Yeah. But maybe, and maybe they're like, wow, what happened? What did I do? What was that? So, maybe there is not quite closure yet for both of you. Maybe it's a matter of we have to let the dust settle. We have to see what's still in our heart, what we really feel, connect with spirit, connect with your guides. What do you need to do now? Right? Really look inside and figure out how you feel and what you want in this situation or from this person, and decide whether you're going to kind of, reach out and have that kind of closing statement, conversation, or if you're just never gonna go down that road again. But I think we've got to let the dust settle first, because I think right now the emotions are quite heightened. The frustrations are still there. Yeah. So maybe this is something that has happened recently and we need to wait a few days. All right. We're going to do an extended reading, Taurus. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Taurus every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.